Thanks, David. Thanks, everyone, for staying strong late into the evening. I understand it can be pretty testing after a long day of presentations, so I appreciate you coming to listen to our story about the battery age. So welcome to the battery age. Thanks to Dom and Paula for organising the conference. It's great. I'd just like to share an analogy that was shared last night at the International Lithium Association. Anand Sheth, a gentleman who was coined the Lithium Raj by Joe Lowry of the Global Lithium podcast, said, "We are living in the lithium century." And I suppose what resonated with me at the time was the duration of time you can associate with a century. It's a long period of time, and I think we're firmly entrenched in that now, and we're going to be in that period for a long time. And look, I'm very pleased to be surrounded by people who are working in the battery mineral space. Our cautionary statement, I encourage you to read that at your leisure. So, why battery age minerals? Well, I like to address this slide in a different fashion. This is the reason I joined the company. This is what I love about the company. This is what I love about battery age minerals. We've a highly experienced team and board, which I'll touch on shortly. We're in a high growth market. I don't need to talk about that here. We all know we're situated in a great position. Yes, the market right now is a bit soft, but I expect that to turn, and I expect it to get strong later into the year and going forward. Our Falcon Lake asset is located in Ontario, Tier 1 jurisdiction. I'll touch on that in a minute when I speak about the project. Our primary project, Falcon Lake, is drill ready. It has some significant historical exploration, some really good intercepts, 24 metres at 1.43% from surface, and we're poised to commence our main drill program in the coming weeks. It's a highly fertile region for lithium pegmatites, the greenstone belt that runs across Canada, hosts many projects such as Green Technology Metals, which are 15 k's to the east of us. We've explored about 2.5 k's of our tenure, and there's 3 k's which is basically untouched, and I'll speak about that a little later on. High quality infrastructure close by and a portfolio of assets in the critical mineral space. So it's a great company. I really like it. I was drawn to it, and that's why I'm here. That's why I'm passionate about this business, and I'm really excited about where we're going to go. Quick corporate snapshot. We recommenced trading February 2nd. We raised $6.5 million at 40 cents. We're hovering around the 39 cent in this market, which gives me great confidence. I'd like to draw your attention to our shareholder base. So our top 100 owns 80% of the company, so it's tight. These guys know what's happening. They know our systematic plan, which I'll discuss in a second. They're familiar with it, so they're really excited about what we're going to do. And the market cap sits around $30 million at that share price. Our board of directors is extremely experienced. Robert Martin is a successful businessman. He's also chairman of Critical Resources, an Ontario-based lithium exploration company that is well down their development pathway. He's extremely well supported on the board by Jerry Fahey, an extremely experienced geologist, also a non-executive director of Prospect Resources. Nick Rathjen, who came from Prospect, spoke earlier about GT1. Jerry was a consultant at CSA Global and also sat in the Joint Ore Reserve Committee for a period of time, so knows his stuff and is a really good sounding board for us as a management group. Also supported by Dr. David Pevcic, a successful investor in micro and mid-tier companies, and Dr. Stephen Windle, who's a geologist who has many years' experience in resource development. So a great board that's supporting us. The management, myself, I was really lucky to serve my apprenticeship at Pilbara Minerals, learned from some of the greats like Ken Brinston, who's a close mentor of mine, Dale Henderson, and a lot of people who I've seen around today who've gone the lithium journey. I joined back in 2016 in the tin shade and Frio, as Ken coins it, and it was a sub $100 million market cap company then. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar market cap company. So we went through a fantastic journey. But look, I'm extremely well supported by Nigel Broomham, our General Manager Exploration. Nigel's a geologist, a very experienced geologist, joined Pilbara in the early days, went through exploration, development, production, and has seen that company go from strength to strength and was instrumental in some of the practices which have made that company an extremely successful business. So it's hugely important for me to have a right-hand man. He's a great guy that I can lean on, and he's guiding the exploration program moving forward. In country in Canada, we have Taylor Smith. He's our lead exploration geologist in Canada. He's also a Pilbara boy. He was there early exploration days, so he sat on rigs for many, many, many hours, and he knows what good looks like coming out the end of a drill bit. So it's really important for us to have a trusted person on the ground there who can relay information back to us quite quickly so we can make fast and nimble decisions. I'm supported then on the corporate level by Aga Pervez, CFO, and by Harry Spinder at COSAC, who are really experienced in corporate management. So Falcon Lake, located in northwest Ontario, Canada, fantastic jurisdiction. We hold about 42 square kilometres in a really prospective region. It's favourable and well supported. Our drill permit was approved 2 weeks ago, so we're immediately progressing to our main drill program, which I'll discuss in a second. We're located really close to good infrastructure. Look, Nick touched on earlier on, we're 15 k's to the east of GT1, so we share similar traits with respect to infrastructure. We're 10 k's from the Canadian National Rail, which goes all the way to Detroit, right? The electric highway is there, so we have a route to market should we prove successful. Also, the Little Jackfish hydroelectric power station is extremely close by, so from a green production perspective, we're ideally placed. 3.5 hours from Thunder Bay, old town, generated from the paper and pulp industry and the grain industry, so massive skill base there that will assist us moving forward. So Falcon Lake, I love this slide. This is the slide I like to talk about. We're really lucky. I think what sets us apart from others in the exploration game is there's been quite a bit of historical exploration carried out on this project. So back in the 50s by a company called British Canadian Lithium Mines, and then back in 2010, 2014 again by a company called Argonaut Resources, so Adelaide-based companies. So there's 3 known lithium occurrences on this property that have been mapped by the OGS, the Ontario Geological Survey. I suppose I'd like to draw your attention to FLD 006, which is an intercept of 24.4 meters, 1.43% grade, basically from surface. So that hole really captured my imagination when I came to the company. The reason being, and Adam Smith's talked about it earlier, mining of lithium it's not simple. You need good thicknesses, you need good grades, you need it to be economical, close to surface. So we've ticked 3 boxes there pretty quickly with respect to that intercept. It's now up to us to go and drill this bugger and understand the scale. So that's really what we plan to do. We got on the ground late 2022. We went and we mapped the first 2.5 k's of the property. And those little white dots you can see there were all pegmatite outcrops that had visible spodumene within them. So we're pretty confident that 2.5 k's is highly prospective. But also what excites us as well is there's 3 k's of extension which hasn't even been walked or touched. So really good prospect, a lot of work to be done, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to systematically explore this project, and we're going to do it over the next 6 to 9 months. So, as I alluded to earlier, our drill permit has been approved. We've awarded our maiden drill contract to Rodrin Drilling, a company based out of Manitoba. It was remiss of me there, actually, I should have mentioned earlier. We've forged some great relationships with our First Nation partners, so the White Sands Group, AZA and Arrowland, so they're highly supportive of the work we're doing at the moment. So that maiden drill program has been awarded. We're supported by Coast Mountain Geological, a highly experienced geological group out of Vancouver. We'll drill 3,000 to 5,000 meters as quickly as we can to retest the historical works, to define the structural orientation of the asset, and that will then inform us about the next steps and where we go moving forward. So we'll commence that within 3 or 4 weeks. The completion of that program then will coincide with the snow melting in Canada, and that'll allow us to get boots on ground to start field mapping and prospecting the 3-kilometer extension. So we've resources locked in to do that. We'll deploy systematic approach. We'll carry out some LiDAR works. We've got some guys lined up to do some on-ground magnetic surveys. And we also have some regional tenements which we'll dip into as well, and we'll start looking at those for other prospects. So we're extremely excited about what we're going to find, and we're going to push forward as quickly as we can to define the asset. And as the guys who spoke earlier, especially the GT1 guys, it's a fantastic jurisdiction, and it's really, really exciting. So North America, from a political perspective, it's extremely well supported. We spent the last 3.5 weeks in Canada at the property, meeting with our First Nations groups, our key stakeholders, and we also had the ability to meet with Jonathan Wilkinson, the Minister for Natural Resources at a federal level, Greg Rickford, who is the Minister for Northern Development at a provincial level, and there's a groundswell of support that's coming in behind investment in the area and the development of that lithium space. Actions speak louder than words. Yes, the market might be soft, but Volkswagen only a week ago announced that they're going to invest in the construction of an EV manufacturing plant in Ontario. Okay, and then Victor Fedeli, who's the Minister for Economic Development, spoke only last week and said he expects 1 or 2 hydroxide or carbonate plants to be built in Thunder Bay, which is 300 kilometers from our project. So they're project enabling announcements. They give us hope that should we be successful, that our project will stack up quite simply, because the economics will be there, the infrastructure is there, the downstream opportunity is there, and the government support is there. So look, that picture speaks to it. All the OEMs are there, all the battery manufacturing guys are there. They're all stacked up the east coast of America. The fundamental problem at the moment is supply and raw material supply. And I think people know, you can build a gigafactory quite quickly, but to get an actual mine into production takes quite a period of time. So that's why we're going to fast track this lithium project as quickly as we can. We'll accelerate our drilling, we'll kick off our environmental permitting process, and we're negotiating with our First Nations groups as much as possible. So that's Falcon Lake. I'd like to quickly just touch on 2 of our other assets. So the Tidili copper gold project in Morocco. We've 35 square kilometers there. We're just about to kick off a field mapping campaign. We've a gentleman, Dr. Simon Dorling, that's assisting us with those works, a very experienced gentleman out of CSA. It's close to supporting infrastructure. It's an underexplored jurisdiction. A bit of nervousness around sovereign risk in the area and sovereign issues with respect to it being a country run by the king. But the Menajim group project is north of Marrakesh. That's a well-established copper mine. So there's been soil sampling, trenching, and some really good rock chip samples come out of there. So we're really encouraged about what we can find there. But we're predominantly focused on Falcon Lake at the moment. And also the Bleiberg Zinc-Lead Germanium project. So germanium being a critical mineral that it has value in high-value applications, semiconductors, microchips. US government has said it wants to become standalone from Chinese manufacturing with respect to microchips and semiconductors. So we see value in that market, and we're progressing those works. There's a large quantity of historical information available with respect to the Bleiberg area. It's a historical mining jurisdiction that has had major success, and it's also located to really good infrastructure. So we're extremely lucky that while we're pushing hard with Falcon Lake, we can also work on these in the background and progress them, and there's high opportunity there. So why battery age minerals? I think there's high growth potential. We're low market cap in the battery mineral space. We're really well funded, raised back in February, but we will spend that money. We're an exploration company. It's our duty to our shareholders to go and drill and to explore, and we will do that. And we're ideally placed to leverage that North American market. Underexplored assets, some really good indicators, some really good prospects in the area. We're going to pad that out, and we're going to go and we're going to drill hard. And Falcon Lake is permitted and drill ready. And we have a defined plan, okay? So it's integral to me that we have a plan for the next 12 to 18 months, and we know what we're doing. And we've systematically defined that over the past few months to ensure that we can lay out that plan and people understand what we're doing and we can deliver to those targets. So I'm really excited. We're going to have a drill rig on site within the next 3 to 5 weeks. We're going to have core coming out of the ground. We're going to be assaying, and we're going to have results. And I'm really excited about where this business is going. and I'm really looking forward to delivering value back to our shareholders and any new shareholders who wish to get on board. So thank you for your time. We're located at booth 35. Myself and Nigel are there. Please come down and have a chat. We'd just like to share with you the story, where we're willing to go, and we can have a longer chat with anyone who wishes. So thank you very much.